Hey everyone, welcome back to BioSchool. This is Gayatri. In today's lesson, we are going to solve some previous year CSR net questions from gene interaction. So let's begin. A cross is made between two plants with white flowers. All F1 progeny had red colored flowers. This is because of. Okay. A cross is made between the two white flowers, but in F1 generation, what they find? They find the red color flower. Let's take gene A is responsible for white color flower. Also, the gene B alone, okay, it is also responsible for white color flower. So when we cross the two plants with white color flower, then in the F1 generation, what we will get? We will get A and B, and these two dominant genes, when they present together in F1 generation, then at that time they produce red color flower. Okay, so here the red color flower, it is produced because the gene A and B, they complement with each other, and that results in a new phenotype in F1 generation. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option A, that is complementation. Here the two genes, they complement with each other, and that leads to the formation of red color flower in F1 generation. And so here is another question. The two mutant plants, okay, both bearing white flowers, were crossed. Okay, the plants are mutant plants and they bear white color flower. All F1 plants had red colored flowers. Okay, in F1 generation, what they got? They got the red colored flower. When an F1 plant was shelved, it produced progeny with either red or white colored flowers in 9:7 ratio. Based on the information, which one of the following conclusion is correct? So by looking at the ratio, we can easily conclude that this is a type of complement gene interaction, right? In complement gene interaction, the phenotypic ratio is 9:7. I do have a video on complement gene interaction where I have explained with the definition and example. So please go through that video. The mutant plants, both bearing white color flower, were crossed. Okay, that means from here we conclude that this is a type of complementation gene interaction. So the option A, the mutation in the parents do not complement with each other. Wrong, because the mutation in the parents, they complement with each other. So option 1, option A will be wrong. Mutation in the parents are allelic. This one is wrong because the complementary gene interaction, it is a type of non-allelic gene interaction. So the mutation in the parents are non-allelic. Yes, this one is true. Mutations in the parents are linked. No, this one is wrong. So which one is the correct answer? The correct answer is option C. Let's go for the another question. Two interacting genes independently asserting were involved in same pathway. Absence of either genes function leads to absence of the end product of the pathway. A dihybrid cross involving the two genes is carried out. What fraction of F2 progeny will show the presence of end product? Let's understand. Absence of either genes function lead to the absence of end product. Like if we'll get like this small a or small b, then no end product. A dihybrid cross is made between the two genes is carried out. So this question you can easily solve if you know the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross. What is this? The phenotypic ratio for dihybrid cross is 9:3:3:1. And what is genotype for this phenotype? So these are the genotype for phenotype of dihybrid cross ratio. What is mentioned in the question? In question it is mentioned that both absence of either gene lead to absence of end product. That means both the genes, that is A and B, are required for the formation of end product, right? So now we look what fraction of F2 progeny they will show the presence of end product. That means for the formation of end product, both A and B genes are required. Here, look at here, both A and B genes are present. That means this one, it will give rise the end product. Then look at here, A gene is present but B is mutated. For the formation of end product, both A and B genes are required, right? But one is here absent, so it cannot give rise end product. Similarly, look at here, A is absent, so it cannot form end product. And here both A and B are mutated, so this one also cannot show the presence of end product. Okay, so let's find out the fraction or ratio. The ratio is 9 out of 16 of F2 progeny will show the presence of end product, right? So the correct answer is option C. You can solve any type of questions from gene interaction if you know the phenotypic ratio of F2 progeny of dihybrid cross. So let's solve one more question. So this question, it is a little bit tricky, but it's really very simple. Let's solve this one. Consider the following hypothetical pathway. H allele, capital H allele, it convert the X substance to H substance. Okay, so this one, the capital H allele, it will convert the X substance to H substance. Small h allele, it cannot convert X substance to H substance, and that leads to O phenotype. Okay, and it will lead to O phenotype. Similarly, capital A allele, it convert the H substance to A phenotype, but small a allele, it cannot convert H substance. Similarly, the capital B allele convert the H substance to B phenotype, but small b allele, it cannot convert H substance to B phenotype. An individual with A phenotype, okay, an individual with A phenotype, that means an individual must have A allele in dominant form to have A phenotype. When crossed with that of B phenotype and crossed with another individual that has B phenotype, that means if that individual is B phenotype, that means the person should have the B allele in dominant form, right? When the individual with A phenotype crossed with that of B phenotype has progeny with O phenotype, so if cross between them, then it result in O phenotype. So it is asking that which one of the following crosses can lead to the above observation. Okay, so before looking into the option, in F1 generation, the progeny should have O phenotype. What leads to O phenotype? The H allele, it leads to O phenotype. Okay, the recessive form. That means the recessive allele, it should be present in homozygous condition in F1 individual. Then only F1 progeny will have O phenotype. Okay, so if the F1 progeny O phenotype, that means 2 small h or the recessive form of H allele should be present, and one H allele will be inherited from one parent, and other H allele, it will be inherited from other parent. That means both the parents should have small h allele, right? And the small h allele in the parents, it may be present in heterozygous form or in the recessive form, right? So now we'll look into the cross. So look at the first option. Here the individual has A allele is present in dominant form, heterozygous dominant form, so it will produce A phenotype. Similarly, this individual, it will produce B phenotype because B is present in dominant form. Now look at H, okay, that is required for the formation of O phenotype, small h. So in this individual, H in recessive form, but this individual has H in dominant form. If it is so, then the progeny, it will have capital H and small h. Okay, but for the formation of O phenotype, we require 2 small h. So this one is wrong, right? Let's see the other option. Here also, A is present in dominant form, B is present in dominant form, so it's fine. Individual have A and B phenotype. We have to look into O phenotype. Okay, so this is also the case here, because one individual, the individual has B phenotype, the H is present in dominant form, homozygous dominant form. If one individual has H in homozygous dominant form, then also it cannot produce O phenotype. So this is wrong. For formation of O phenotype in individuals, we need the H allele should be present in heterozygous dominant form or in recessive form. Okay, find out other option. Look at here. Here the H allele is present heterozygous form in both the individual. That means the progeny of this cross will produce an individual of O phenotype. So this is our correct answer. Okay, let's check the option D. Here also the one individual have homozygous dominant form of H allele and other one has heterozygous. So it cannot produce the O phenotype. So which one will be the correct answer? The correct answer is option B. This question is really easy and this question is from part C. It carries 4 marks. You have to understand the question, what it is actually asking about and what we need in the cross. Then only you can easily solve this type of question. Let's go for another question. Following is a hypothetical biochemical pathway responsible for pigmentation of leaves. The pathway is controlled by 2 independently asserting genes A and B encoding enzymes as shown below. Mutant alleles A and B code for non-functional proteins. What is expected progeny after selfing plant with the genotype capital A small a, capital B small b? Okay, let's understand the question first. In this question, it says that this is a hypothetical biochemical pathway that leads to that is responsible for pigmentation of leaves. And this pathway is controlled by 2 independently asserting gene capital A and capital B that cause the enzyme, like if the capital A gene is present, okay, then it will convert the white substrate to yellow intermediate. Then the yellow intermediate, it will convert it into green product by the presence of allele B. If the allele A is mutated and it is present in this form, that is small a, then it cannot convert white substrate to yellow intermediate. Similarly, if here the small b is present, the mutated version of capital gene B, then this small b, as it is a mutant allele, it cannot convert yellow intermediate to green product. Okay. So what do you have to find? We have to find what is the expected progeny after selfing plant with genotype capital A small a, capital B small b. So it is a type of dihybrid cross, right? So if it is a dihybrid cross, then what will be is phenotype in F2 generation. You know the ratio, and the ratio is 9:3:3:1 for genotype. Okay, so this is the ratio in F2 generation for dihybrid cross. What is asking? We have to find out the ratio. So in the question it is mentioned that for the production of green product we need both the genes. If the capital A and capital B are present, then that will lead to the green pigmentation of leaves. If either of them is mutated, then that will code for the non-functional protein. Let's say A allele is functional, but B allele is mutated and is non-functional. So what will happen? A allele is functional. If A allele is functional, then A allele, it can convert the X substrate, that is white color, to yellow intermediate, right? A allele is in dominant form, but the allele B is non-functional or mutated, so it cannot convert yellow to green product. Okay, so what will be the end product? The end product of this combination will be yellow color, right? Let's look at other. Here the A is mutated, but B is normal, functional. Okay, So what will happen? Okay, A is mutated, so the white substrate, it cannot convert it into yellow intermediate. Though the B allele here, it is in functional form, but it requires yellow intermediate to convert into green. Okay, if the yellow is absent, so it cannot convert it. So there is no question of green product, right? So it will result in white color flower, right? And the last combination, small a, small a, small b, small b. Here both the alleles are mutated. That means the end product will be, of course, it will be white. So let's find out the ratio. So this here both A and B are present, so it will be green, and this one is yellow, and here these both are white. So the ratio is 9 green, 3 yellow, 4 white. So which one is the correct answer? 9 green, 4 white and 3 yellow. The correct answer is option A. So in examination, mostly you will get this type of question, which are really very easy. You can solve it within a second. The thing what you need is to understand the question, what it is asking about. So thank you so much for joining me today. In upcoming session, I will solve 5 more questions from gene interaction. So please stay connected. Bye bye. See you in my next video.